Yo, what's up guys, it's your boy Sami here. Today we are gonna see, what if, neglected Naruto x Kushina Uzumaki, part 3. Hope you'll enjoy this video. So before we start, please subscribe to our channel, and like this video. I do not own this fanfic, and also make sure to check out the author of this fanfic, BLUEDOG1029, and support him for writing this awesome fanfic. Link is in the description. So let's get into the video. Crunch. 3 sets of footsteps could be heard running through the forest. Snap. The 3 sets of footsteps sounded like they were running as fast as they could. Shuffle. Out of nowhere a large deer leaped out of the foliage and into the clearing in the forest. Now, a voice yelled from inside the forest. All of a sudden, a medium-sized pure white wolf emerged from the bushes behind the deer and pounced onto the deer. The deer fell to the ground but quickly adjusted itself and kicked its hind legs to get the wolf off of itself. The deer stood up and prepared to take off once again. Thump. A large makeshift spear lodged itself into the deer's chest, seemingly where its heart would be. Bang. The deer fell to the ground dead. All of a sudden, a blonde-haired boy with mesmerizing ocean blue eyes emerged from the forest with a grin struck across his face. In the boy's mouth were 2 abnormally large fangs. It wasn't anything strange, just something you don't usually see unless one is from the Inuzaka clan, where they are usually closer to animals than the average human. But other than the boy's fangs, he didn't look much different from any other child around his age, which if one would guess would be around 9 to 10. Alright, we got it, Ari. That's another mission accomplished. Naruto cheerfully petted the female wolf's head as she walked up from behind him. The wolf yipped in response as Naruto concentrated as hard as he could and generated 1 black chain. I still can't do it, Naruto pouted as he tried to generate more chains. Over the time period after the bear attack, Naruto could never fully duplicate what he did. For the first week he could barely generate over 3 inches of chain. He tried over and over again, but what he guessed happened was that the near-death experience triggered something in him, and his dormant natural instincts took over and automatically generated the chains. But that didn't mean Naruto was satisfied. Day in and day out he trained them. He didn't know why he wanted to learn these so much, just something in him wanted to show the world, I don't need you. I can do it myself. He never really thought about showing that to Kushina, no. But deep down that was what was fueling him to these extents. He was jealous, yet he didn't admit it. He was hurting, yet he didn't show it. He was angry, yet he didn't let it overcome him. To be honest, he forgot everything here out in the wilderness, the village, his family, his tutor who dropped him off here, and never said a word since. Nothing, just him, his friend, and nature. Alright Ari, let's go. We can have a feast today. Maybe we can even make a rug with this one. Naruto exclaimed as his 1 chain coiled around the deer and lifted up the lower half. Naruto couldn't carry the entire deer with his 1 chain yet, so he was forced to lift the remaining half. Naruto walked back to his base of operations with the Snow White wolf in tow. Naruto didn't really worry about any predators at the moment, as the wolf pack Ari used to belong to was long gone. Naruto never heard any howling, Ari never left, nor showed that she knew anything either. Naruto didn't even encounter another bear after the first one. He assumed that was the male bear of the region, and the others refused to go into another male's land, or they didn't know that the male bear was dead. One way or another Naruto wasn't complaining, no bears meant no trouble. So after a 10 to 15 minute walk with the deer, Naruto finally made it back to his cave. He entered the cave, and quickly took note of everything to make sure nothing was disrupted. On the right side was his makeshift cot with a dreadfully skinned bear fur as a blanket. In the middle was his fire pit. Behind the fire pit farther in the cave was a makeshift table for Naruto to prepare food or weapons. On the floors were a few crudely skinned deer skins for a rug. Over to the left of the cave was a bench of some sort, and a couple makeshift knives created from grinded down stones. But nothing is different. Naruto spoke to himself as he made his way towards the back of the cave with the deer in hand. Ari made her way to the cot she and Naruto slept on, and she made herself comfy as she waited for the food. He placed the deer down on the table and slowly started to analyze it, seeing what he should do first. Alright, let's gut this thing, then skin it. Maybe now I can finally make a curtain. Naruto motivated himself as he walked towards the makeshift bench and looked at all the stone knives in front of him. He never liked using his kunai because they were the most weapon-oriented things he had, and he didn't want to ruin them by gutting an animal with them. If he had more than he had now, then he wouldn't care, but at the moment he only had 4, not including the kunai on his spear. That's when Naruto picked up a stone knife that looked like it was supposed to be a kunai, but it obviously wasn't that similar in resemblance considering the tools Naruto had. So, Naruto grabbed the knife and made his way back to the dead deer. That's when he felt it. As soon as he was about to puncture the skin on the deer, all of his senses went off. The senses he honed ever since he was left in the wilderness. His natural dormant instincts he tapped into as he was left in the middle of nowhere for months. Danger. Fear. That was all he felt for a split second. But he didn't falter. Fear was just an emotion he learned. That didn't change the fact he sensed it from behind him. Almost immediately after he felt it, he flung round his stone blade in hand, and flung the blade at whatever or whoever the intruder was. The blade made contact with the stone wall, and the force of Naruto's chakra was enhanced through making it shatter upon impact. Nothing. Naruto didn't see anything, but he still felt it. Behind him, Naruto spun around again, this time grabbing his spear that he placed leaning against the table. Right before he thrust his spear, he saw the cause of his senses going haywire. A figure. All black around 6 feet on the other side of the table. Naruto thrust the spear at the individual's heart, hoping to kill him before he himself was killed. The figure simply deflected the spear with his left hand before grabbing the spear and crushing it in his. Those split few seconds was all that it took for Ari to already be flying through the air towards the individual. The figure saw the beast and used its fist to send Ari flying back, crashing into the wall. The figure didn't hesitate to bring out a kunai and fling it towards Ari, intending to kill her swiftly. Naruto saw this, and all of a sudden, he felt his veins fill with power and adrenaline. No? Naruto's voice sounded more animalistic and powerful. All of a sudden, black chains erupted from Naruto's back. 3 chains immediately soared through the air and deflected the kunai, keeping Ari safe. The remaining 7 chains rushed towards the attacker, intending to incapacitate and slay him. There were as many chains as when Naruto killed the bear, but Naruto didn't care at the moment. He had one goal at the moment. Kill his foe or be killed. The chains soared towards the figure as Naruto reached into his kunai pouch and flung 2 of his remaining 4 kunai. The second kunai was purposely sent momentarily after the first in order to catch the foe off guard. The chains easily captured the attacker's limbs and held him still for both of the kunai to strike him dead. That was too easy. Was running through Naruto's head as he looked deeper into the cave for anything out of the ordinary. Behind. Naruto felt it again, grabbing a kunai in each hand, which wasn't common for a shinobi for hand-to-hand combat, or in this case weapon-to-hand combat. Naruto rammed his kunai straight into the individual's gut. Naruto didn't even register the scorching feel of his kunai burrowing into his attacker's organs. He simply pushed as hard as he could. The attacker grabbed Naruto's wrist, unhinged it from his gut, and went to pin Naruto. That was when Naruto used his remaining kunai held hand and went straight for the individual's neck. The attacker couldn't get out of this. He was too close to Naruto. He wouldn't even be able to jump back. He was too close. Naruto was centimeters away from the neck when his foe disappeared in a shunshin. Naruto didn't waste time getting back up and flaring his senses. That's when he felt it. He knew this person. It was similar. Panther-sensei? Naruto asked aloud. Almost immediately after the figure materialized at the entrance of the cave in full Naruto, thanks to the small amount of sunlight still in the sky. Naruto. Panther greeted me. Growl. Ari finally got up again and growled towards Panther. Ari, stand down. He's okay. Naruto ordered, and the wolf relented but still moved to stand protectively in front of Naruto. I see you've been making friends. Panther spoke as he grabbed his gut. I have. Wait, did I seriously get you? Naruto spoke incredulously for a split second. Indeed, Panther spoke as he opened a pouch on his arm and brought out a roll of medical wrap. What? How? Naruto asked as he was starting to doubt his sensei, if he could even call him that at this point. I made a grave mistake I don't plan on making again. I never expected you to see past my genjutsu, nevertheless react that fast. Oh, Naruto said sadly. You're depressed? Panther asked curiously. I mean, yeah, if I can catch you off guard. That Naruto was cut off as Panther disappeared from his view, and he felt cold steel placed gently against his neck. Like I said, I made a mistake I don't plan on making again. Panther said seriously, making all of Naruto's worries vanish. Right, so am I finally done? Naruto asked. Indeed. We are leaving immediately. Sweet. Do you have any sealing scrolls with your Panther-sensei? Naruto asked excitedly. May I ask why? Panther asked as he grabbed a scroll from inside of his Anbu vest and threw it towards Naruto. I don't want to leave some of this behind. Especially this guy. Naruto exclaimed as he pointed at the bear skin. I see, then hurry up. Panther spoke in his normal monotone as he leaned against a cave wall. After a few minutes of Naruto packing things, he spoke out again. You don't mind me bringing Ori, right? Naruto asked offhandedly as he stored another thing. The wolf can't come. Panther said seriously. Immediately Naruto stopped what he was doing and stared sternly towards Panther. She has to come. Naruto explained. Nope. Yes. The Anbu dorms don't accept pets. Panther explained. She isn't a pet. Oh? Then what is she? Your friend? Panther asked emotionlessly, but Naruto could feel the sarcasm. Yes, and my companion. No can do, nobody else would see it that way. Panther further explained. Then what about Inuzaka Anbu? Naruto asked, even though it was more of a statement. Naruto's quick thinking caught Panther off guard once again, but he didn't show it. They're different. Oh yeah. How is it different? Naruto asked again. They're ninja companions, and are used in combat or tracking. They are ninjas certified. Panther explained. Ari is my ninja companion. Naruto said sternly. It's not that simple. Oh, I think it is. Naruto narrowed his eyes towards his sensei. Oh? Are you threatening me? Panther asked, clearly amused. No. I just don't think it's that complicated for one of the strongest and most elusive Anbu captains to do. Naruto said, not faltering. Panther stared at Naruto through his mask for a few moments, not moving in the slightest. Well? Naruto asked. You have to ask the Hokage, not as a ninja, as his grandson. That is the only way this would work. Panther explained. TSK Naruto grit his teeth slightly. He hated using the grandson card, and using that to take advantage of his grandfather. After Kushina left, he made it his goal to never burden anyone he cherished. So, will you? Panther asked curiously as he eyed the pure white wolf with beautiful blue eyes that sat at Naruto's feet. Fine. Naruto relented as he turned around and finished his packing. Fine. Panther asked for confirmation. Fine, I'll ask him. Naruto said ruefully as he didn't want to ask his grandfather, but at the same time he wouldn't dare leave Ari behind. Good. Now are you done? Panther asked again, gesturing to the storage scroll. Yeah, we can go. Naruto said as he and Ari walked towards Panther. Good, we are going Shunshin back to Konoha, so hold on to me, and your dog. Panther explained as he grabbed Naruto's shoulder. She isn't a dog. She's a wolf. Get it right. Naruto said offendedly. Right, where did you find her anyways? Panther asked, postponing the Shunshin. She was from the pack of wolves who live in this area. She left them by herself to stay with me. Naruto answered proudly. There isn't a wolf pack that is native to this place, Naruto. Panther responded seriously. What? I just saw them like a month or two ago. Naruto explained. For as long as I've known, no wolves have ever been here. Bears, yes, wolves. No, never been a wolf here. Panther explained seriously. Maybe they were in the process of moving. Naruto guessed. Maybe if Panther wasn't wearing his mask, Naruto would have seen the furrowing of his eyebrows in confusion at this odd occurrence. As fast as they came, they left. In a swirl of leaves, the two ninjas and the wolf vanished from the cave, leaving nothing but a worn-out fire pit behind. Land of hot water. Unknown town. Two figures could be seen sitting outside a restaurant talking, eating, and laughing. Overall, they looked like they were having a good time. They both had astonishing crimson-red hair that could be seen from a mile away. One of the individuals was a goddess on earth with her womanly figure that could swoon almost any man. The second individual was a much shorter girl who looked around the age of 7 to 8. They both were talking about various things, not caring for anything going on around them at the moment. That was quickly interrupted though. The brown and white messenger hawk stopped its flight and glided its way down towards the Redeeds, and as gracefully as it could, it landed next to the Redeeds table on the railing separating the street from the outdoors sitting area. What happened now, Mom? The younger Redeed asked. It's just a normal letter informing me on Naruto and how he's doing, Mito. Kushina informed her daughter with one eyebrow raised. What? Didn't you just get one a few days ago? Mito asked confusingly. I did. That's what's confusing me. Something must have happened. Kushina informed as she grabbed the scroll that was hanging on the hawk's back with slightly quivering hands. The slight turmoil in her gut that she felt every once in a while, whenever it concerned Naruto returned, she always shook it off, but it never completely left her. It just stayed in the back, and simply taunted her. She felt like something was wrong, really, really wrong, but she never let that thought stay for more than a moment as she had to focus on Mito. Nah. What's it say? Mito asked curiously as she tried to bend over the table and peek at the message. That's what I'm trying to see. So if you would kindly sit back down and learn some patience, I will tell you. Kushina explained, using her finger to push the hyper 7-year-old back down into her seat. A few moments passed as Mito sat expectantly, and Kushina read word for word, analyzing its contents. All of a sudden Kushina's aura flared slightly and started to turn an eerie dark color. Kushina flexed her hand subconsciously, crumpling the paper between her hands in the process. Mito stared in awe and fear as her mother's hair shadowed her eyes, seemingly angry and disappointed. What happened? Mito asked hesitantly. Your brother has done something very stupid, that's what. Kushina said as she placed the letter on the table and leaned back. The letter read, Dear Kushina, once again I urge you to return home. We can take care of the problems together and keep everything under control. Naruto still hasn't gotten better, and it is only going to get worse. I don't know what you are trying to accomplish by doing this, but it isn't worth it. Naruto recently dropped out of the academy, and I could do nothing to stop him, and I don't think he is going to return unless you return and try to speak some sense into him. Letters will not do anyone justice, let alone somebody like Naruto, who needs to speak face to feel that closeness. Even if you just drop by, at least say something to Naruto. Now you ask me why Naruto never has anything to say in the letters, let alone write to you. I think I just answered that question quite clearly. That is all. I hope you come up with the right decision after reading this. Mito quickly looked over the letter, but being 7 as she was, it didn't really make sense to her. What did he do? Mito asked again. Your brother dropped out of the academy and is refusing to go back. Kushina sighed. Mito spoke quietly and thought. What the hell happened, Naruto? You were such a good kid. What happened? Kushina asked aloud to nobody in particular, totally oblivious to what was happening back in Konoha. I got it, Mom. Mito cheered innocently. What is it, honey? Kushina asked, not to listen to her daughter as she had other thoughts in her mind at the moment. You said it yourself when we left. The academy doesn't really teach you anything too important until the last couple of years. We can teach Naruto everything ourselves. We will all be together that way. It will be fun. Mito exclaimed her idea excitedly. Mito, that's not a bad idea. Kushina spoke as she brought a hand to her chin and thought. Exactly. Mito cheered. Then we can bond together like a family, and make up for all this time away. We can even teach him everything else we learned here too. Mito, I am so proud of you. That idea is perfect. Kushina cheered as she quickly took out a piece of paper and a pen to write her message back to Hiruzen, almost completely disregarding everything else she read in the letter. Konoha. Hokage's office. Hiruzen Sarutobi was not in the best moods at the moment. First of all, he hadn't seen his surrogate grandson in a few months, due to his sensei putting him in a survival test in an unknown area. What made it worse was the fact that Naruto wasn't completely healed both mentally and physically at the time he was sent out. That in itself worried Hiruzen greatly due to the fact that he saw what Naruto did when he broke down on a few occasions. What made matters even worse than that? The letter Hiruzen just read. Hiruzen placed his pipe down on the table and leaned back in his chair. He gave out an exasperated sigh and seemingly sat in silence as he thought over what he just read in the message. The letter read, Dear Hiruzen, I understand that it is clearly worse than I initially expected considering Naruto himself dropped out and is even refusing to re-enter the academy. That does not mean I will be coming back to scold him though. Yes, I am extremely disappointed in what my son has become, but what can I do? I have to focus on Mito at the moment so it would serve no good in returning, but seriously. What happened to Naruto? Do you have any ideas? He was such a good kid to just up and stop being a good kid for no reason whatsoever anyways. As for him dropping out, I have that under control. Mito gave me a brilliant idea. It will be killing two birds with one stone. Me and Mito once we return will teach and train Naruto everything we know and he needs it for the academy. That way we can get family bonding and we can teach him. Hell, it will even be catching up on all the time we missed. Anyways, I'm writing this during our lunch break, so we have to get back soon, so that's all for now. From KSHINA. Hiruzen was brought out of his musings as a knock on the door was heard. Hiruzen sealed away the letter and signaled that they could enter. He was left with one lingering thought. What am I going to do? The Uchiha compound. The boy and a wolf stood at the entrance gate to the Uchiha compound. The boy was none other than Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, and the wolf was none other than his companion Ari. Ari's pure white hair literally glowed in the sunlight since Naruto just before arriving, finished taking a bath, and cleaning Ari's coat of fur. The pure white fur only further accentuated Ari's already majestic sapphire blue eyes. You know Ari, I really need to get you used to humans other than me, Naruto told the wolf as he stood at the entrance of the Uchiha compound. Why was Naruto saying this? Because Naruto was forced to take all back roads to get to the Uchiha compound. Because Ari wasn't used to humans other than himself yet, she would constantly growl at people, and if anything, even remotely startling happened, she would go full predator mode. Ari simply looked at Naruto with an unreadable expression. Right, I still have to work on communication so we can talk to each other better. At least Gramps let you be my ninja partner easily though. Naruto spoke as he remembered the conversation. It wasn't really a conversation, he was just happy Naruto was back, and better than ever, and the only thing Hiruzen really said was a short speech about how dangerous it is for a ninja companion, and how you should teach them really strictly and excellently to make sure they are both obedient and smart enough to make decisions on their own. Other than that, Hiruzen just said that Naruto should visit Mikoto as she was asking about him, and starting to worry. Alright Ari, don't growl at anyone here. These Uchiha don't like it at all. So just follow me, and keep up. Naruto said seriously to the wolf as he was kneeling in front of the wolf. The wolf yipped in response, but Naruto was still worried. At least the Uchiha compound didn't have that much traffic, so he didn't have to worry about too many civilians or shinobi. As Naruto entered the compound, the guard simply nodded his head towards him in acknowledgement, and looked at Ari in curiosity. Naruto walked the streets in relative peace. Ari was literally sticking to Naruto's right side. She was constantly leaning on Naruto as they walked, but Naruto didn't care. He quite enjoyed somebody, or in this case a wolf, using him for support, even if it was something as small as this. Finally, after about a 7-minute walk, Naruto stopped at his destination. It was one of the bigger houses in the compound, but it wasn't the biggest. It was a traditional Japanese house like you would find in the Hyuga compound, but the difference was the personal hot spring in the backyard surrounded in large fences and traps, making it impossible for perverts to peek into it. Alright Ari, Naruto called out, getting the curious wolf's attention. Ari stared at Naruto. Whatever you do, don't be scared or mad at this lady, okay? She's okay. She just might be scary depending on how mad she is, Naruto informed the wolf. Stare. Ari simply stared at Naruto unflinchingly. Sigh. Alright, sit and stay, Naruto commanded the wolf, in which it sat around 10 feet away from the door of the house. Fuuke. Naruto walked up the door. Knock knock. Please don't be Fugaku. Please don't be Fugaku. Please don't be Fugaku, Naruto chanted in hope that it would just be Mikoto home and nobody else. Thud, thud, thud. Naruto could hear footsteps approaching the door. Naruto stood straight up, stiffened out his clothes, making sure he looked presentable, and made one last motion towards Ari to stay and not to move no matter what. All of a sudden, the traditional Japanese door slid open, revealing a goddess, a woman with midnight black hair that reached down her back, and 2 locks of hair framing her face perfectly, only further expressing her beauty. She had an unflawed body that many women would kill to have, large breasts, wide hips, tight waist, and long legs, that with her hair and heart-shaped face would make most men weak at the knees. The woman in question was wearing a purplish black dress with a tan apron over the top, attempting to hide her generous assets, and it wasn't working that well. The woman was wiping her hands on her apron as soon as she opened the door, and stared out the door with an analytical gaze with her charcoal black eyes. Seeing who the visitor was, she had serious expression on at first, but as soon as she laid eyes on the blonde-haired blue-eyed child before her, "Naruto!" the woman exclaimed as she launched herself towards Naruto, bringing him into a massive hug. Immediately Naruto stiffened at the action, no longer used to the foreign feeling of a motherly hug. After all, it has been over half a year since he last had a real hug. "Naruto?" the woman asked worriedly as she felt his stiffness. After a brief moment, Naruto literally melted into the woman's embrace. The woman smiled as Naruto literally used all of his strength to hug back. She knew why Naruto was like this, and she was just waiting for Naruto to come by. But sadly, after Kushina left, Naruto never went to the Uchiha compound since. Naruto didn't show that he was going to let go anytime soon, so the woman adjusted herself so she could sit comfortably while Naruto enjoyed the embrace. The woman closed her eyes and rested her head on Naruto's shoulder as she waited for Naruto to get out whatever he needed. They simply sat in silence, no noise whatsoever, no crying, no sniffling, nothing. Finally, after multiple minutes of waiting, Naruto started to move. Anti-Mikoto Naruto started using his first words since seeing the woman. "Yes, Naruto?" Mikoto asked, still holding on to Naruto. "Thank you." Naruto slowly leaned out of the embrace, still relishing the warmth that came from it. "No thank you, Naruto, I really needed a hug. I ran out of hugging energy just a few moments before you came," Mikoto said happily as she smiled at the boy, no longer using her serious expression. "Be okay?" Naruto smiled in return. Mikoto looked over Naruto, noticing he changed quite a bit over the past months that nobody saw him. First of all, he had a growth spurt, that was for sure. He wasn't extremely tall that it would freak anyone out. He was just on the taller side of anyone around his age. His face lost some of the baby fat he had, so he had a more sharp-looking face, and his aura was now different. He was no longer the bright bundle of happiness that everyone knew him for. Now his aura was more distant, cold, and serious. But Mikoto saw deeper than that. Maybe it was her time as a shinobi that saw it. Maybe it was the fact that she was a mother. But either way, she saw a glimpse of the same boy from before. It was small, but it was still there. She was about to say he was like a miniature Itachi or Kakashi with his aura, but that small glimpse of light was all she needed to see he was still the same deep down. "Oh? What do we have here?" Mikoto asked aloud as she noticed something behind Naruto. Ari stood there, no longer sitting, but standing ready to pounce to save Naruto. "Oh? That's Ari. She's my new ninja companion. I found her, and she stayed with me ever since. Gramps just finished finalizing the details before I came here," Naruto exclaimed cheerfully. "I see. Well, nice to meet you. Are you sure, or a beautiful wolf?" Mikoto slowly approached the wolf, going to pet her. She just started seeing other people than me today, so she's scared. "So watch out," Naruto warned Mikoto. Mikoto simply smiled at the wolf and extended a hand to pet the wolf. Ari stiffened, but nevertheless let her pet her as Naruto was giving her a warning look. "Such a beautiful creature," Mikoto said in awe. As soon as Mikoto finished petting the wolf walked towards Naruto and stood protectively by him. "You have found quite the capable companion, Naruto. I can see she trusts you immensely and wishes to protect you," Mikoto informed the boy. "Thanks," Naruto said with pride evident in his voice. Now Mikoto gave a smile towards Naruto. Naruto stayed silent. "Why don't we go, and you can explain why you didn't visit for a good half a year?" Mikoto asked with a bone-chilling smile towards Naruto. "Okay," Naruto said as he chuckled nervously. Inside the Uchiha main branch house, Naruto sat quietly in the living room of the house. The room consisted of a tatami mat floor, a coffee table in the center, 4 floor pillows on the sides of the coffee table, a television in the corner, and a large sliding door that opened and faced the garden outside. Overall, it was a quaint and nice room. Naruto currently sat with Ari next to him staring outside. Mikoto was in the kitchen getting snacks and beverages for the two, so they could talk about what Naruto has been up to, and Naruto could also notice Mikoto had something she needed to say too. A few minutes of waiting finally ended when Mikoto entered the room carrying a tray with a pitcher and a plate of snacks. Mikoto sat down opposite Naruto and stared at Naruto expectantly. "So? What was more important than coming to see me for this long?" Mikoto asked. "Well, I wasn't in town," Naruto explained meekly. "I know that, but what about before that? Why couldn't you come and tell me you weren't going to be around for a while?" Mikoto asked again. Because Naruto made it clear that he didn't want to state the reason. Mikoto softened her gaze and grasped Naruto's hands from across the table. "It's just," Naruto starting again. "Naruto, it's fine, you can tell me anything, I won't be offended," Mikoto stated softly. "Because you're friends with her," Naruto explained quietly. "Because I'm friends with," Mikoto asked again. Both her Naruto clarified again. Her? You mean Kushina? Mikoto asked confusingly. Naruto nodded his head yes. And? Oh Naruto. Please don't think that way. I didn't agree with her. Please don't think I did. Mikoto squeezed Naruto's hand reassuringly as she stared deep into his eyes, causing him to get slightly uncomfortable. Okay, I believe you. Naruto responded meekly. Oh thank you. Mikoto sighed in relief as she let go of Naruto's hand. Naruto sat in awkward silence, not knowing what to say now. You know, Kushina came and explained to me why she was leaving and tried to make me see eye to eye with her. Well, she came to tell me to look out for you and whatnot, but when I didn't see eye to eye with her, she was offended and we got into a small argument. Mikoto broke the silence. You did? Naruto asked curiously. It went a little like this at least. Mikoto stared into the distance as she remembered the ordeal. Flashback. Kushina and Mikoto were sitting opposite each other in the same living room as Naruto is in Mikoto. Kushina looked slightly serious while Mikoto looked serious and downright angry as she glared towards Kushina. So? Kushina asked expectantly. Don't. What? Kushina asked, slightly shocked. Just don't. I have been your friend since the academy days, and I've always stuck with you, but this, I will have no part of. I'm telling you right now, don't. Mikoto informed me strictly. I have to. Kushina explained. You have to why? Danzo. Orochimaru. That reason I can't tell. Huh. Do you honestly think this is a good idea? Did you even ask Lord Third yet? If you have then you obviously know he didn't agree. Mikoto yelled to her best friend. I just have to. It's to protect them both. Kushina all but screamed. Is it? Or is it so you can pamper your little girl? Don't lie to me, everyone knows it. You favor Mito over Naruto any day. Mikoto sneered. Slap. Kushina glared across the room at her best friend. Don't you ever say that again. Kushina threatened. Why? Because you know it's true. You wouldn't have reacted like that if you didn't believe to an extent. Mikoto informed me angrily. It is not. I love them both equally. Kushina roared. Yeah, sure. That's why you have Mito follow you every second of the day while you leave Naruto by himself. That's why you only train Mito. That's why you don't even second guess where Naruto gets all of his injuries from. Do you seriously expect me to believe any bit of the crap you are sprouting? Mikoto roared back. You know why I have to do those things? Kushina yelled in return. Why? Explain to me again. Why do you need to neglect Naruto so much for Mito? Why? Mikoto interrogated quite heatedly. Because I have two assholes going after my daughter. Danzo the old cunt will try and brainwash Mito without me looking and get her to join him willingly. Orochimaru the deranged fuck will take any chance he can to get a Jinchuriki on his side. He will come to capture her at a moment's notice. He has as many spies in Konoha as Danzo does. Hiruzen can't do anything against Danzo because the old coot has nothing against him yet. Even if he did something, if Mito joins him willingly then I can't stop her. She will just turn into a weapon. Orochimaru has so many spies in Konoha even if we catch one, 2 more will appear. It's not that simple, Kushina screamed. Then why leave? Why leave Naruto behind? Why leave him to the wolves just because you're what? Afraid. You have the goddamn Hokage and multiple S-rank shinobi at your beck and call if you need to. Why can't you train Naruto? Why can't you spend time with him other than on holidays? Why can't you just have some mother and son bonding? You know how much love Naruto has for you. Do you seriously want to take that for granted? Because I sit here all the time wanting to just coddle my son again. But I can't. I lost that chance. He's in the fucking Anbu. Risking his life daily. I have a husband who doesn't even love me. I have to deal with this head of Uchiha crap. So no. Don't even try to tell me it's not that simple. Because it is. It's so simple I can't understand why you can't get it through your fucking head. Mikoto roared in rage as her emotions boiled out of control. No? Why can't you get it through your thick skull? I can't spend time with Naruto because I have to protect Mito. If you were in my position you would do the same. I came here to ask you to take Naruto under your care. Not for this. Kushina exclaimed in utter rage. I'm bringing this up because you are making a retarded decision. You are taking Naruto for granted. Why can't you take him with you? I would love to have Naruto here, but I know what he truly wants. He wants to be with you. He loves you so much I'm jealous anyone could completely adore somebody so much. He's obsessed with you. He adores you. You are his everything. His world. Do you really want to take that away from him? Do you will take away his lifeline? Mikoto explained as tears streamed in her eyes. I can't take him for his own good. If I take him with me he will have a target painted on his back. This way he can stay safe with everyone here. They don't want Naruto. They want the fucking fox. Naruto is nothing. He isn't special. He doesn't have any special abilities. He is average. He is normal. He is a dull color to them. Kushina yelled, raising her voice even louder. So that's how you see him. Ha. Parent of the fucking year. You disappoint me, Kushina. I expected more from you. You were so happy when you came back with twins, you couldn't even show your sadness from Minato's death because you were so fucking happy. Now this. Your own son is simply average or nothing. Seriously. Your own fucking son. How can you be his mother? Mothers are supposed to see how utterly amazing their children are so they can tell their child. They are supposed to push them past their limits, teach them how to live, to write, to love, to hate. They are supposed to be able to hug their child and tell them it's going to be okay. But obviously not to you. To you, your own son is simply just another child in the park. Makoto quieted down and spoke with utter disgust evident in her tone. That's not what I am. Kushina was cut off by Makoto again. No? I think that's exactly what you meant. They say in somebody's rage they will say what they truly mean. I think we just saw that first-handed. We're done here, it's time for you to leave. Makoto sneered as she stood up, still glaring at Kushina. Kushina got up and started walking down the hallway to the front door. I'm leaving Naruto here so I can protect both of my children. Orochimaru doesn't want Naruto, Danzo doesn't want Naruto, Mito is who they both want. As long as I'm out of Konoha, both Danzo and Orochimaru can't track me. Orochimaru's spy network is good, but not good enough to find me in the entire elemental nations. Danzo can send trackers, but even they aren't that good. Konoha is their domain, not out in the world. Kushina explained as she opened the door and looked back at Makoto, who had her arms crossed underneath her bust. That's what you think? What if they're just waiting for you to leave Naruto? What then? Makoto added. They don't want Naruto. Kushina yelled again. That's what they want you to think. Makoto added once again. There's more than just them. I just can't say what they are yet. Only the Hokage and a few others know, Kushina told Ichiha. Oh yeah? Well, don't blame me when you lose a son. Makoto spoke as she turned around and started walking away from the hallway. I won't. Naruto loves me. You said it yourself. He is an amazing child. He accepts anything. He forgives anything. He loves no matter what. Kushina exclaimed. Point proven. You take his love for granted. Makoto informed me. I don't. When do you ever try to follow up on any of Naruto's accidents with his friends? Makoto finally asked. I don't. I trust him. Kushina declared. I trust my children too. That doesn't mean I will make sure they are safe even if they say they are. What if he is saying that just to make sure you don't find out he's getting in trouble? Or what if he loves you so much that he doesn't want you to worry? Huh? Ever think about that? Makoto asked. I don't have to. Kushina started. Get out. It's time for you to leave. I will take care of Naruto. Isn't that what you wanted to hear? Now leave, our business here is done. I will say this one last time, don't leave. Makoto told the Redeeted Uzumaki. Kushina didn't say any more words and simply left and quietly shut the door. Kushina left Konoha 3 days later. Flashback end. Naruto sat there in silence at what he heard. He clenched his fists in disappointment at what his own mother said about him. Did any of these revelations change his mind? No. He still felt lingering resentment and anger, but he pushed it away and simply stared at Makoto, who was giving him his sweetest smile as she could. Thank you, Naruto. No need to thank me. I simply said what I thought was right. Makoto explained softly. Still thank you. Naruto bowed his head slightly. No problem, but are you okay? Makoto asked worriedly. About? Naruto asked curiously as he lost all the lingering anger and sadness that was just evident in his expression. About what Kushina said, Makoto asked, slightly taken aback. I'm not surprised. Naruto stated, surprising Makoto. You aren't? Nope, I expected as much. I've already gotten over it. She's no mother to me. I've given her a test like Gramps told me to do, but even then, I don't know if I want to ever have her back in my life as my own mother. She failed me too many times as it is. This was simply the breaking point. Naruto smiled towards Makoto, scaring her slightly from this reaction. I see, or third was right. It's bad, but we shouldn't try to change Naruto. It's his choice. Makoto thought back to a conversation she had with Hiruzen after she inquired about Naruto's whereabouts. Yep, now I really should be going. Naruto was interrupted as the adrenaline pumping through his veins spiked his senses. He felt danger. Makoto raised her eyebrows at something behind Naruto, and that was all Naruto needed to know to figure out where the danger was coming from. Naruto leaped up, leaving Ari sleeping on the floor, not noticing anything yet. He spun around, realized he didn't have any weapons on him, and jumped to the assailant's back. Fugaku Uchiha never really liked Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. He was too full of love and happiness. It wasn't good for a ninja to have. So imagine Fugaku's subconscious reaction when he appeared in his living room and saw none other than Naruto talking to his wife in his home. Fugaku glared at Naruto's back for a split second before Naruto leaped up, spun around to face the danger, and saw a man much taller than him, but didn't really look at his face. His survival instincts kicked in, and he did what came to him. He got behind the assailant, leaped, brought his legs around the figure's neck, and spun with the motion using gravity to his advantage. The assailant was sent crashing to the floor with Naruto taking him down harshly and brutally. Thud, the back of Fugaku's head was sent crashing into the tatami mats, breaking it partially in the process. Fugaku wasn't all there as his entire brain was just shaken brutally from the impact. By the time he figured out what just happened, Naruto was already on his chest with his hands around Fugaku's neck attempting to strangle. While Naruto was in the process of attempting to strangle Fugaku to death, he finally had time to look at his assailant's face, and he knew who it was. Oh crap. Naruto leaped back in shock. Coughed. Fugaku coughed, and rubbed the back of his head lightly. Mikoto and Fugaku both didn't have time to do anything as it all happened so fast, and not expectantly. And Naruto Mikoto spoke in awe and shock at what just occurred. Sorry Mr. Fugaku. Naruto was scared out of his wits at what he just did. Fugaku didn't answer for a second, he simply sat there tending to his bruises. You've changed. Fugaku started. Yes sorry Naruto apologized once again. Fugaku smirked towards Naruto, liking this new Naruto. I barely have anything away that would tell him I appeared, let alone let out any sign of danger. Yet he sensed that Fugaku was impressed, but he would never say it. I have to go now. Naruto explained. Right, I'll see you out, Naruto. Mikoto informed as she stood up. Alright, Naruto and Mikoto made their way to the front door, leaving Fugaku of his own accord. As they made it to the front door with Ari following closely behind, Mikoto stopped at the door, and Naruto outside. Naruto Mikoto started. Yes? Am I in trouble? Naruto asked worriedly. No, you aren't. Was that unexpected? Quite, but you aren't in trouble. Mikoto explained. Then what do you need? Mikoto then brought Naruto into another hug, squishing him in her bus. You can come anytime you need. I will always be there to help you. Itachi told me you were an Anbu even though he wasn't supposed to, but still I will help you whenever you need it. Mikoto explained as she let go of Naruto and held him by the shoulders. Okay, Naruto didn't know how to answer that. Good. Mikoto chirped. Mikoto then leaned forward and kissed Naruto on the cheek, causing him to blush to an extreme extent. Mikoto chuckled at his expression as she waved goodbye and went back into her house, leaving Naruto and Ari by themselves. Two figures sat in the dimly lit Hokage's office. One was the third Hokage himself, and the other was one of his Anbu captains, Panther. So, how are the results of your first lesson? Hiruzen asked seriously as he puffed out a cloud of smoke. Panther smirked under his mask for a second before speaking up. It went well, the results are greater than I initially expected. Panther explained. Oh? That's high praise coming from you. Care to elaborate? Hiruzen questioned, clearly intrigued. As you already know, the point of the exercise was for Naruto to tap into the dormant instincts us human beings have been known to bury. But for some reason Naruto's instincts are leaps ahead of what I expected. It's almost like he's an animal or something of the sort. Anyways, like I said, his instincts are quite impressive at the moment. I'm going to need to train him not to attack everyone when his senses go off. But other than that, I am extremely happy with the results. Panther explained, ever so stoic. Perhaps it's because of Kyuubi's soul. Hiruzen mused to himself out loud. I don't think so, I didn't notice anything that would point towards that. Panther responded. You wouldn't feel anything. I don't think Kyuubi shouldn't have any chakra. Perhaps his soul physically changed Naruto's body. Maybe what is even more impressive is his reaction speed and his dormant Kekkei Genkai he unlocked. Panther informed the Hokage, and immediately the room dropped a few degrees. Explain. Immediately Hiruzen narrowed his eyes. Naruto has chakra chains. Not only does he have them, he has decent control in them too. Panther explained. You're lying. Hiruzen said straight. I'm afraid I'm not. Panther re-informed. I thought only female Uzumaki could have those. At least that's what Kushina said. Hiruzen spoke to himself quietly, but not quietly enough for Panther to not hear. That's what I thought. I think it may have to do with his survival instincts kicking into overdrive, and him just somehow activating his dormant Kekkei Genkai. Considering Kushina and Mito both have chakra chains, it wouldn't surprise me if he had dormant chains, even if he couldn't use them, let alone activate them, and it would explain how he first activated them. Panther said as he brought his hand to his chin. How did he first activate them? Hiruzen asked curiously. He said one day he was resting in his cave due to an injury when he heard his companion and some other animal fighting. Naruto said he went to go check on the wolf, since it was out gathering food. Since Naruto wasn't in the condition to do anything of the sort, when he arrived at the scene he said the wolf was about to get killed, due to a massive grizzly bear about to snap its neck, which may I add I saw its skinned corpse with my own eyes. And Naruto, thinking quickly to save the wolf, he threw a makeshift spear at the beast, and it didn't do much except make it angrier. He said it charged him, and he couldn't run away, so he closed his eyes and awaited whatever the bear was going to do. The next moment he opened his eyes. He saw the bear dead, wrapped in his own chakra chains, with its neck snapped in two. Panther retold the story Naruto told him earlier. I think you may be correct then. But something about you saying Naruto's instincts weren't human-like, I can't help but feel like the Kyuubi has something to do with it. It doesn't sit well with me. Hiruzen claimed. Shall I do some investigations? Do you think Naruto is hiding something? Panther asked the old Hokage. No, there's no need. I know Naruto, even if he changed these past months. I probably know him the best next to Mikoto Uchiha. If he's hiding anything, it's because he's scared to tell us or he himself doesn't know. Us digging into him trying to figure out something that may not even be there won't do him any good mentally after everything that happened. So, if you see anything just tell me, and I will deal with it, but don't go digging around to purposely find something that may or may not be there. Hiruzen answered sagely. Very well. Is there anything else? I would like to get back so I can start arranging Naruto's schedule so he can start tomorrow. Panther informed stoically. Oh? I thought you would have had that done the moment you left Naruto in that forest. Hiruzen asked slightly sarcastically. I did. Naruto turned out to grow leaps and bounds like I informed you earlier though, so I'm going to need to up my training and add a few new things into the mix. He even kept doing the training you showed him every day. Panther explained. That sounds like Naruto. Well, there's one thing I would like to inform you of before he shows up unexpectedly. Hiruzen exclaimed. He? Panther asked confusedly. One of my students, Jiraiya of the Sannin, will be returning to the village for a brief time. Hiruzen explained. And that is important to Naruto. Why? Panther asked again. Well, when I informed Jiraiya of Naruto's situation, he seemed to think it was his fault Kushina left Naruto like she did. Hiruzen further explained. Why does he think that? Well, as you know, he is the Toad Summoner, and very close to all the Toad summons, and a couple years ago he was told a prophecy about a child of Minato's, and how they were going to either save or destroy the world in the future. He told Kushina once before, and now he somehow thinks that was why Kushina always favored Mito over Naruto. And now that this happened, he feels extremely bad thinking he was the whole reason this happened. I however know for a fact that isn't the reason Kushina left. Kushina is too headstrong to believe something that she herself doesn't believe in. Sadly, that also means she won't stop and think if she is too set on something like her leaving Naruto, but sadly, Jiraiya is too stricken with guilt that he doesn't even believe me. So he said he is probably going to start visiting more often just to check up on Naruto. Hiruzen informed the Anbu agent. I see, will he be training Naruto too? Panther asked curiously. I don't know. He didn't say anything of the sort, but I don't exactly see him not training Naruto. He didn't really mind the fact that Naruto joined Anbu, nor the fact he was your apprentice, but he did say he would like to see how Naruto grows, and hopefully at least give him a push forward as his way for atoning for what he did. I see, then I will let him do what he wants. It will help Naruto in the long run anyways. Panther explained. Indeed. Well, I must excuse myself so I can attend to my other appointments. Panther bowed to Hiruzen, and Hiruzen nodded in approval before Panther disappeared into the shadows. Hiruzen leaned back onto his chair and puffed out a cloud of smoke in silence before he spoke again. Oh Naruto, how far will you go? How far will you last? When will the final straw break between you and Kushina? Hokage sighed before he took out his crystal ball and smiled at the sight of Naruto hugging Mikoto Uchiha. A few weeks later, thud, the sound of something landing on the ground resonated through the vast private training ground reserved for Anbu personnel, and in this case, Naruto, the apprentice of the ever-elusive Anbu captain, Panther. Pant, pant, pant. Naruto heaved, gasping for breath as he laid back on the grassy hill he collapsed on. Next to Himari, who looked at him with the same curious eyes she usually did. Next to her laid a training dummy with its neck ripped open. Panther didn't really know much about ninja companions, nor how they fought. He only knew what he saw his few fellow Anbu members who came from the Inizaka clan do. So for now he simply had Naruto teach Ari's speed, agility, and where to attack on a human being, which wasn't that hard considering wolves were natural-born hunters who by instinct went for the jugular vein. It was only a matter of crushing a person's neck immediately, instead of strangling it until it died. Panther did say Naruto would have to take a trip to the Inizuka compound soon though, just so he could get a better grasp on a fighting style for them. Panther was nowhere to be found. Why? Because Panther could rarely give Naruto one-on-one training, until he finished a few ongoing assignments he was assigned to, so for the moment he could only really train him a few days a week for the next few months. After that he said he would give most of his duties to his vice captain in the Anbu division, so he could fully train Naruto, until he was ready to join Anbu officially. Naruto laid there panting, trying to catch his breath after his long and vigorous training session. Immediately he felt somebody land next to him, but he didn't attack immediately like he would a few weeks ago. No, one of the first things drilled into his head was how to distinguish somebody with good intentions or somebody with bloodlust, or as Panther said, bad intentions. That was the simplest way he could explain it to Naruto. Naruto didn't feel anything bad about the newcomer, so he didn't spring into action, but that didn't mean he wasn't on guard. You know, it's bad for your body if you stop vigorous exercise by completely stopping altogether. You're supposed to gradually stop instead of just flat out collapsing. A voice that Naruto found familiar, but he couldn't quite pin who it was. That's when Naruto opened his eyes after hearing the slight rumbling coming from Ari's throat, signaling a warning to whoever the newcomer was. It was a tall man with slightly tanned skin, and long spiky white hair, and red lines streaming down from his eyes. He wore a green short shirt kimono, and matching pants, under which he wore mesh armor that is visible at his wrists and ankles. He also wore handguards, a black belt, traditional Japanese wooden sandals, and a red haori with 2 yellow circles on each side. His final article of clothing was his headband that had the kanji for oil on it, instead of the usual leaf headband normal Konoha shinobi wore. Mr. Toad? Naruto asked curiously, remembering the man who visited multiple times as a child, and used his toads to play with Naruto and Mito before Kushina would yell at him for bringing filthy animals indoors. Naruto. Jiraiya sat down next to the still panting Naruto. What are you doing here? Aren't you supposed to be running a spy network? Naruto asked curiously. I'm taking a little break, I have to be back in a few days, so I thought I would visit my godson. Jiraiya explained. I see, Naruto said quietly as he closed his eyes again, not entirely enjoying the awkward atmosphere. Jiraiya never really favored one of the siblings. Naruto was treated the same as Mito, and Mito the same as Naruto, but neither of them saw Jiraiya that much. A few birthdays here and there, but lately, Jiraiya couldn't even make it to them. Sometimes he would send Christmas presents or birthday presents, but that was the extent of it. So I heard what happened with your mother and sister Jiraiya. And? Do you expect me to cry and beg for them again? Naruto asked, eyes still sealed shut. What? No, I just wanted to know how you're holding up. Jiraiya clarified. Perfectly fine. To be completely honest, I've never felt better. I can finally do what I want to do, no longer held back by family like I used to be. Naruto answered, never wavering in his responses. Jiraiya looked for a reaction, and from what he heard about Naruto and his breakdown from Hiruzen, he wasn't entirely sure if he believed Naruto. I see. Well, how about you tell me how your training is going? Jiraiya chose to change topics instead of bringing up past memories for Naruto. Okay? It's pretty normal, I would say. Panther-sensei is trying to set things up so I can finally start my Kenjutsu training, but other than that it's pretty average. That's good. Care to show me what you know? Jiraiya asked curiously as he stood up from his sitting position. Really? Naruto asked skeptically. It wasn't every day you get to spar with a Sannin. Really? Jiraiya reassured Naruto. Awesome. Naruto spoke as he stood up and cracked his back, all of his fatigue seemingly gone. While Naruto prepared himself, Jiraiya made a quick hand sign, and with a poof, a shadow clone of Jiraiya was standing in front of Naruto preparing to fight. Really? Naruto asked disappointedly. What? Jiraiya obviously didn't see the problem with this. I don't want to face some cheap knockoff. I want to face the real thing, the thing that bleeds and sweats. Naruto explained. Do you really think you would get me to bleed? You? An 8-year-old child. Against me? A Sannin? Jiraiya asked obviously sarcastically. We wouldn't know until we tried, now would we? Naruto asked again. True, then what about this? If you can dispel my shadow clone. Jiraiya was cut off as a puff of smoke and a rush of memories interrupted his sentence. So? Will you spar with me now? Naruto asked cheekily. What did you do? My memories didn't even see what happened. Jiraiya asked curiously. As for what I did, none of your business, but you should already know the shadow clones dispel pretty easily. A simple cut on the leg could make the whole thing go poof. Naruto informed the white-haired man. That doesn't explain how. Never mind, fine. A deal is a deal. Jiraiya relented as he got into a relaxed fighting position. Naruto drew 2 kunai and readied himself into a fighting stance, causing an eyebrow to raise from Jiraiya. Dual kunai? What kind of fighting style is that? Jiraiya asked curiously. Something I tried teaching myself a few months ago. I want to try it with a pair of Tanto or a katana, but Panther-sensei isn't letting me yet. He said to wait until he has everything prepared. That, and he said I have to do something special before I can get my own swords. Naruto explained truthfully. Any reason why you want to use a style like that? Jiraiya asked again, clearly intrigued for his answer. Does it really just feel right? Comfortable even? That, and I think it's cool. I've never seen anyone use a style like this. Naruto explained thoughtfully. Interesting. Well, enough talking now, come. Jiraiya beckoned Naruto to come and fight. Naruto sprinted towards Jiraiya and sent a low kick, attempting to swipe out his opponent's legs before he could react. Jiraiya simply jumped over the kick and pivoted himself so he landed a few feet back, with a not-so-impressed look on his face. Naruto didn't stop there. He continued to sprint towards his opponent and hurled his dual kunai at his opponent, in which Jiraiya caught one and dodged a second, only to send it straight back towards Naruto, who didn't seem to surprise. Naruto didn't move from his sprinting line and simply bent his body slightly to dodge the kunai before he brought out 2 more kunai and held them both backhandedly. He reached Jiraiya again and swung widely, attempting to cut across Jiraiya's chest, but Jiraiya caught Naruto's wrist and twirled it to the point Naruto was forced to leap with the movement, otherwise his wrist would have broken. Jiraiya, seeing this, he was a little impressed, but still he didn't see anything impressive. He wasn't an Itachi or Kakashi, yet at least. Jiraiya was cut out of his thoughts when the second kunai was aimed straight for his neck. Thinking quickly, Jiraiya kicked Naruto in the chest, sending him crashing back before the kunai could reach him. Oh shit, Jiraiya used a little more force than he intended to, so he quickly started to go and see if Naruto was alright. He stopped midway due to Naruto getting back up and dusting himself up, but what surprised Jiraiya the most was the smile gracing the young boy's face. That little brat is enjoying this. Jiraiya didn't know whether to be impressed or worried. Naruto quickly started sprinting again towards Jiraiya, who returned to his relaxed fighting position. Naruto threw more kunai towards the older man, and deflected all of them with ease. Naruto then performed several hand signs, before several blades of wind started launching themselves towards Jiraiya from seemingly nowhere. Jiraiya seemingly used the same technique as Naruto did, just stronger, to cancel out the jutsu. Naruto didn't falter when he finally reached Jiraiya again, and sent the exact same style of kick, attempting to side-swipe Jiraiya again. Jiraiya gave a disapproving stare at Naruto, once again disappointed. That's when it happened. As Jiraiya was going up into the air, he felt something cold around his ankle, before he swung with great force towards Naruto, who had a kunai pointed perfectly towards the unsuspecting Jiraiya's skull, or more exact would be his eye. Jiraiya barely had enough time to react before he was impaled, and most likely killed, so he did what came to him, and shot his hand forward, catching the kunai with his bare hand, before he used the momentum from his earlier pull from Naruto's chakra chain, to slam Naruto into the ground a few feet away. Ouch. Naruto couldn't tell if Jiraiya was talking to him, or if Jiraiya was talking to himself, as his hand was now bleeding from the earlier kunai. Naruto slowly emerged from the slight crater, and had a wide smile across his face once again. "What's so funny, kid?" Jiraiya asked, clearly not happy. "I made you bleed. You said I couldn't," Naruto explained happily. Jiraiya simply stared at him dully for a few seconds before he himself started chuckling. "I guess you did, kid, I guess you did." They continued to spar for next few hours, which was mainly Naruto getting thrown around. Naruto never really got any good hits on Jiraiya, due to the fact all of his tricks were already used, and now Jiraiya knew all of them. Finally, it was finally dusk, and growing darker and darker. "Well, kid, I have to go for now. The Hokage wants to talk to me about something," Jiraiya explained from his sitting position beside Naruto, who was once again heaving, and trying to catch his breath from the non-stop sparring. Okay, Naruto barely made out in between breaths. "Well, I have a question for you before I go." Jiraiya started. "Yeah? Would you like me to train you? I wouldn't be able to train you all the time, but for around 1 week a month I can come back to check on your training, and train you for that week," Jiraiya explained. "What about your spy network?" Naruto asked curiously. Thanks for watching my video. Leave a like if you enjoyed my video, and also do consider subscribing to my channel for more awesome content. And make sure to check out the author of this fanfic. Link is in the description. See you next time. Till then, sayonara.